Now that you found something symmetrical, you can either, if it's something really large or something outside growing out of the ground, you'll probably want to get a clipboard or a hard surface and move your body and go to that location to draw your symmetrical object. I found something a little bit smaller that I could bring to my workspace, a little teddy bear. I can tell that even though the fuzz is kind of going different ways, when I look at this bear, most of the shapes on it are the same on both sides. So I know that this little bear has symmetry. When you are drawing, it's important to think about the shapes. Since this is a three-dimensional object, something that I can actually pick up and turn and move around, I'm going to have to think, if I'm doing this as a drawing, something that's flat and two-dimensional, how I can make those shapes translate. So if I'm looking at something that's a little bit more spherical or round, when I look at that straight on, and if I were to make it flat and two-dimensional, I would probably draw the snout as a circle. So especially for my first graders, just start thinking about shapes as you're drawing. Again, this is just practice. This is a sneak peek for next week. So it's okay if you make mistakes. That's why we always do work in our sketchbook. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started. So I'm going to put this in a space where I can see it. It helps if you have things in front of you as you're working. I'm going to lay the bear on the table so that you guys can see the shapes that I'm creating in relation to the bear. So what I need you guys to do in your sketchbook, your cover should be decorated from yesterday. Go ahead and get out one sheet of paper to practice on, and then we're going to fold this in half. So I'm going to go through the steps pretty quickly, and I'll show you my process as we go. With the paper from your sketchbook, you want to lay it on a flat surface and fold it in half. Then get a pencil and start looking at the shapes of the object that you're drawing. You can simplify them by drawing simple circles or ovals or rectangles or squares, depending on what it is that you're looking at. If it helps, if you can't get the same exact shape on both sides, if you go over the same shape multiple times with your pencil, fold your paper back up and then rub it with a hard object like the back of a marker. That'll leave a mark on the other side that you can trace back over with the pencil. Continue looking closely at the shapes of the object that you are drawing. Feel free to erase if you make mistakes. It's helpful if you draw lightly with your pencil so that it's easier to get rid of any additional marks that you don't need. Once you have all of the shapes drawn, using the fold as your line of symmetry, then you can get your markers and crayons out to add color. Normally, I would be filling in the entire space with a marker and slowing down, but I want to add texture on my bear, so I'm going a little bit quickly with the marker. I'm also going to mix my colors. Since I don't have tan, which is the color of the bear, I'm going to loosely draw or fill in with the yellow and then add very lightly with my brown to make the tan color that I would like. I'm also coloring in very loosely, very lightly to add the texture of the fur. One thing that I really like about crayon is that you can build up the color. So I can start out light, and then if I want to add some areas that are a little bit darker, I can press a little bit harder, or I can go over the same area again. I didn't add a background on my work, but feel free to add a background if you would like to continue coloring. As you finish up, make sure you put your supplies back in their boxes and add them back into your art kit. I hope you enjoyed learning about symmetry today, and we will continue with this concept next week.